On behalf of Orange County Human Relations, we'd like to welcome everybody to Walk in My Shoes.
Each year, Orange County Human Relations does an excellent job of bringing together middle school students from all over Orange County to explore issues of culture, leadership, and youth activism.
There was a man and a woman who met in Mexico. They got married, and decided to move to the United States because this is the place where they could fulfill their dreams. They started living in a garage. I know it sounds funny, but they started living in a garage. That's all they could afford. But when I hear their stories, they always tell me, but the garage was clean. You know? The wife worked as a tomato picker, would come home filled with mud. The father worked in whatever job he could get, until one day, one of his relatives said, they're hiring at this place called Kerr Glass in Santa Ana, and they make pickle jars, you know? That individual said any job that he could make a little bit more money and help support his family was good. So he went and took the job. The family moved out of the garage and moved into a house. Then they bought a car. That's what I'm talking about. Then, and there's something about immigrants, at least I can only speak for immigrant Mexican families, we tend to not move very far, right? They saw a house for sale across the street from the house they were renting. And it was a little tiny 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, a little living room, little kitchen. And they got their money together and bought that house. Along the way, they had 2 boys and a little girl. One day, Memorial Day weekend, 1986, the father tells the wife, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go buy some cigarettes at the local store. A youngster, a little bit older than you, was strung out on heroin. He went up to him, shot him in the leg, and shot him in the chest. And he took his wedding ring, a little gold bracelet that had his name on it, and he pulled out his wallet, and that individual only had $30 in there. He left him there, and it took him 45 minutes to die. True story. That individual was my dad. And he never got to see me graduate from high school. He never got to see me fulfill his biggest dream, which was to graduate from college. He never met my wife, never met my kids, my little girl. And it was years later that I made a decision that this young man who was on heroin, if he had met someone that was going to give him a different type of influence, he wouldn't have been on drugs. And my dad would still be alive today. And I have dedicated my life to increase the number of students from all walks of life to go on to college. Because at the end, maybe it won't be your family who falls victim to violence. And see, you're here, but you don't realize something. You're here because a teacher saw something in you. And so many times we listen to the negative and we're willing to listen to it and believe it. But you're here because a teacher thought you were special. How many kids at your school get approached by gang members, by people who aren't going to give them the right path? Well, it's time to take that back. And it's your turn. Because if you do that, if they're surrounded by people like you, crime will decrease.